Welcome to Pink Kink,
where we talk about the pretty, twisted side of kink.
I'm Princess Rara.
And I'm Dara, the Electro Khaleesi.
Whether you are a new kinkster or have years of experience, Pink Kink will help you level up your kink knowledge.
Join us on this journey as we talk about our personal experiences and use the knowledge we've gained over 28 years of being involved in both private and professional aspects of this lifestyle to help you explore every facet of kink.
Get set for an adventure. Not only will you learn and grow, but we promise loads of laughter, turning each episode into a fun party. So fasten your seatbelt and let's get this show started. Pink Kink runs off the generosity of our devoted patrons.
As a patron, you will become a member of our special Discord server, receive some adorable Pink Kink stickers, as well as have access to a monthly behind-the-scenes podcast. Patrons also get discounts at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique, and our online classes at Pink Kink Institute.
In addition, our impactful and electrifying Pink Kinksters get special audio and video episodes. And finally, patrons at our highest tier will be recognized as producers, both here on the podcast and on our website.
If you would like to become a patron, you can visit us at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast or click the link at pinkkinkpodcast.com.
Today's episode is produced by our electrifying Pink Kinksters. Thank you, Jay, Witcherman, Brianna Lynn, Daddy J, Fabe, Embers, Blossom, William P, Claire, Lady Blooding, Naughty and Nice, Butte Pain, Manda Panda, Cat, Stefan, Shadow Phoenix, Kilted Sir, Brian, May Cry Devil, Ruby Riot, Mistress Velma, Enchanted Sparrow, The Wombat, Impact Hazard, Twitch, The Midnight Girl, Sinful, J21, Daisy If You Do, AK Harley Chick, Violet Rain, Serenity, Belle, Eric, Lady Affliction,
Dr. Dave, Pumpkin Pie, Ms. Tourmaline, S'more, Hacksaw, Wee Mad Beastie, To Be Better For Me, 3 a.m. Thoughts, Forrest, BP Bryn, Crash Override, Iro, Kinky Bear, Sviper No Swiping, Barbie, Navigator Bard, Frost, Sinful and Naughty, Coffee and Chaos, Noir, Haley's Comment, Mr. Pillsbury, Stitch, Peaches, Mighty Owl, Princess Sassy Pants, Lady and Lex, Chaos Monster, Casper, Hazel Page, Jessa Lady, DJ Harlow, Ophelia, Master A, and Drew.
All right, let's see if we can do better on this one. The last one. We lost it, the last one.
I really don't see that as a problem, though.
We hit the trifecta.
We absolutely did.
Silent tears.
Snorts.
Snorts. Silent laughter, tears, and snorts.
Yes.
That's the trifecta.
Yeah, so we're
back.
We're back-ish. We're pretty fried right now since it's the same day.
Yeah. But we'll see if we can get through this one with, I don't know, are we aiming for more or less of that?
I'm not entirely sure because which one's better?
All right, well, let's start with a very, very crucial question.
Okay.
Did you read the articles?
I did.
I'm so proud.
Yesterday.
I don't care. That's when I read them too. I'm so proud. I did the notes a while ago, but I just finally read the articles yesterday.
And I made reaction notes.
Verklempt.
Oh,
I verklempt.
Wait. Would you like to see them? There's more. There's more.
Wait, there's more.
But wait. All right, hang on a minute.
Yep, hold on.
Turning the computer. Can you see that?
Ooh.
There's a link so I know which article. The reactions. There's quotes.
I'm impressed.
I did things. Mm-hmm.
Look, I had the same.
You did what?
I had the same.
Oh, God, yeah, but you have a lot more.
But I went through and mine says copy of articles because I didn't want to make the notes in the same thing because I don't want to influence your notes.
Well, no, that's what I did. I didn't put them in the article thing that you sent me. I did a whole separate one.
Samesies. High five. Wow, for Dara and I to do the same thing, like how often has that ever happened?
You better put that one in the calendar.
Oh,
because,
my fucking God.
You know what? I was going back through the calendar this morning. I don't fucking know what I was checking for, but I clicked on some previous dates and I noticed something very interesting in the calendar.
Yeah.
It said 8:30 p.m. Dara and Rara agree.
We joke all the time that you should mark that down. I didn't realize it actually had gotten marked down.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it either. I know who did it.
Oh my God. I'm going to look right now at whose color
If
that
that's
is.
in the pink kink, yes. I know who has access to our pink kink calendar.
I bet you. Wait, now I got to find it again. God damn it. It was right there.
Oh my God, yeah. Dar and I don't often agree on specifics.
Not at all.
We have the same morals and ethics, which is how come we can still be friends even though we don't agree on the specifics. But we it's the details that we disagree on. And so every now and then when we agree on something, we will post it in the Discord server, which, by the way, it's been a long time since I've done this. You too could be part of our Discord server if you become a patron of Pink Kink. For as little as $2 a month, you get access to our Discord server where Dar and I are very active in it. Through that, you will also get access to a monthly virtual munch, which is very fun, as well as discounts on our Etsy shop and Pink Kink Institute.
I found it.
Yeah?
It's blue, so I'm not sure who put this in here, but it was on May 20th, 8:30 p.m. Rara and Dara agrees.
That's funny. So,
Bitch.
yeah.
Oh, no. Look, I found proof. It
Yeah.
was her.
Yep, I know. So to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast, or if you go to pinkkinkpodcast.com and go to the support us page, there's a link there as well. So there you go. I haven't done my advertising spiel in a while.
No, you
it
haven't.
was time.
I just screenshot it. I'm going to post it.
Yeah. So this particular episode is a return to something new we started last year, a new series about BDSM in the news. And I have a lovely Google alert every day that sends me links to articles that BDSM or kink is in the news, which sounds great, but not every kink article is about BDSM. I could get articles about the Kinks, the musical group. I can get articles about kinks in electrical wiring. Like,
Well, we don't want kinks in electrical wiring.
Right?
Thank you. Or kinks in hoses.
so.
Do you
yeah.
ever get articles about kinkless hoses? Because
I just
did.
don't pay attention. So, but yeah, so that's what this is. I pulled out some ones that I thought would be interesting that would give Dar and I something to talk about. And anytime if you guys come across kink or BDSM in the news and you want us to cover this in this series, let us know. What's that smirk for?
Nothing. I posted the picture that I said I screenshotted.
Oh yeah. Okay. So our first article, I grabbed my attention because, first of all, it was posted in Pink News. That's literally what the thing was called, Pink News. I went, well, I'm here
She
for
has
it.
to subscribe to that.
And then it was an article about Pornhub revealing what users searched for the most.
Okay, this really floored me.
Oh, yeah. Do go on.
So hang on, let me actually bring this back up.
Okay.
So, because it was the map that got me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so first of all, I did not know that Pornhub released an annual list like this at all. This is funny as fuck. And then one of the things, where is it in here? It actually says, okay, like the very first thing, from Mormon porn to furries to twinks, Pornhub's 10th annual year in review report, blah, blah, blah. None of those surprised me.
Yeah.
Absolutely none of those. I was like, well, yeah, that makes sense. That's like a thing. But then it said 70% of furries identify as LGBTQ. Again, not surprising. The overlap there is really strong. What did fucking surprise me was when you scroll down after Hannah Montana, or was it before? Something in here was a map. Where the hell did it go?
The map.
It disappeared.
I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
No. Okay. Well, it's not showing the picture. Okay. Whatever. But it said that the most popular topic in Virginia is smoking porn.
I saw that.
What the fuck? First of all, did not know that that was a type of porn, a search term for porn. Did not know that existed.
I was laughing because Arizona, where I'm lived before here, it was car sex. And I'm thinking, in that fucking heat?
Yeah,
no.
I'm actually really upset that I can't find it because I wanted to talk about more of these.
No,
Where is it?
This is what killed me. So
there it is.
So it killed me is that they broke it down then further by demographics, by age. And they found that boomers, and here's interesting, they said people age 55 and above, which is incorrect.
No.
Because I'm 58 and I'm not a boomer.
No,
So
they did it
right
wrong.
now, it's people who were born in 1964. So it's all people who are turning 60 this year. They
Well,
were
and older. Because
Right,
my parents
60
are boomers
yeah.
and they're like 75.
they were increasingly searching for transgender porn,
Mm-hmm.
with boomers being 58% more interested in trans porn than younger demographics.
California is fucking killing me. Asian stepmom. Specifically stepmom.
I know. Well, I was going to say that actually leads well as they had more related articles and surveys about the favorite fetish by state or by country.
These are killing me.
And I thought, if that's something that you would like us to do an episode on, we can do this, where we'll go through the survey specifically on the favorite fetish by state.
I love these because I have to talk about Ohio.
Okay.
Small dick.
Wow.
That was the most searched term in Ohio is small dick. I am dying.
Well, I appreciated that the trend was that mature and MILF porn topped the year's trends. And as an older person, I appreciate that.
Well, I need to get me some of this Wyoming shit. They have goth porn, apparently.
Do they?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So here's the other thing that really got to me. How the fuck do they even know what the most searched term is in Virginia if we're not supposed to have access to it?
This survey was done prior to.
Okay, so the 2024 one is going to be even more interesting.
Well, because it's only people who are willing to pay for it.
I'm not.
Which
or
a
show
lot
their
of-
ID, which I am
most
not.
people are not.
So did you see the one for Texas?
I did not.
You want to know what it is?
Yeah.
Creamy.
Ew. Here's what they also talked about. They did trending searches on Pornhub gay.
Uh-huh. It's like a whole graph.
Do you know what one of the highest, it was like the third highest on the list for the most searched term
I don't know what
on
that is.
Pornhub gay?
I don't know what that is.
It was straight.
Oh, no, not that one. What is Pinoy?
P-I-N-O. Pinot?
Pinoy? Pinoy.
I don't know.
I don't know what that says.
I know. But anyway, so as I was talking about on Pornhub gay,
Mm-hmm.
one of the top terms searched was straight.
Yeah.
So the Pornhub gay people want to watch straight porn?
I think it's straight friend having sex with gay person.
But they looked up straight.
Maybe they're curious about straight porn?
I don't know.
Help. Explain.
I didn't even know there was a Pornhub gay.
I mean, that makes sense.
Well, it does, but I thought it was just you go onto Pornhub and look up gay. Not that there was actually a Pornhub gay site.
I mean, I guess it would be like kink.com where they have subsidiaries.
Mm-hmm.
But no, some of these are really fucking funny.
It is. And I was really fascinated by those. But don't go into any more into the state stuff because, as I said, I would like to maybe do a whole episode on this.
One more.
And this is it.
This one I liked.
Yeah.
And I really want to watch this porn. Like, this was one of my reaction things. Like, I want to find this giantess.
Yeah, there we go.
Like, that just sounds cool. Is Hagrid's girlfriend getting in on some porn here?
Why not?
I don't know what that means, but I kind of want to watch it.
Everybody porns. So it was very fascinating to see the different things. I love that mature and MILF topped the year's trends. As believe it or not, so did technology-based fantasies like AI robot porn.
So, yeah, that one was really, really interesting. Like, again, all this did was give me ideas for what to watch.
All I know is somebody who, if they could, would get my very own data, which you have to be a Star Trek TNG fan to understand this. I want my own data. So I understand the AI robot.
So I didn't understand that you were referring to the character data. I just heard data. Like, data for what? And how do you get your own data? Do you, like, just track your own porn things for a year?
Do you know the whole thing about data? Because he fucks.
I mean, I know.
Data fucks.
Yes.
And because data
He is programmed in numerous techniques.
Yes. And he
With
and
Tasha
he
Yar.
learns. And he learns. So he identifies what's working and what isn't working. It's a whole scientific thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he never is not able to because he's a robot.
He also procreated at one point.
Oh, little robots.
No, he built his own AI person.
I know.
In which case, yeah, he built his own data, but it was a girl. He had a daughter. It was cute. I missed that show.
It was a good show.
Oh, I want to go home and watch it.
All right. Well, speaking of shows, our next article announced a new film. And the film is called Pelion, and it features Alexander Skarsgård and Harry Melling in a queer romance set in a world of BDSM and biker culture.
So the only thing that I could write down and the only thing that I could grab out of this was, go Dudley, go!
For those who don't know, Harry Melling played Dudley Dursley.
Dude is skinny.
Did you know
now.
Alexander Skarsgård played Eric Northman, a vampire in the True Blood series?
Nope, never watched it.
This is also not the first time that he has starred in a film with some kinky elements. Apparently, he starred in last year's Infinity Pool, where, though at that point, he was a submissive. So in this new movie, which is based upon a book, the plot centers around a character named Colin, who's played by Melling, who's a meek suburbanite.
And he looks it in this picture.
Right? God, so skinny.
He's
From Dudley.
from Dudley to this. It's weird.
So weird.
It's really, because you know when he was also in Queen's Gambit,
Yes.
and that threw me.
You didn't recognize.
had
You probably
no idea
kept
who it
going,
was.
I know him. I know him.
Yes.
How do I know him?
And then I finally looked it up and I went, what the fuck? But yeah, this even more so. I'm not going to say this is a glow up it's a glow up, but it's not
like
to
in
the
the
level,
Neville.
not like that.
Yeah, not a Neville level.
A Neville level.
Oh my God, that's going to be our new standard, a Neville level of glow up.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I was going to say it and it was like, that's too much. Is she going to yell at me for being silly? I mean, like, but oh my God, a Neville level. That's brilliant. That's a whole Neville level. Okay, first of all, Skarsgård looks fucking sick good in this.
I've never seen Skarsgård look bad.
But this particular picture.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So basically the plot is that Colin, a meek suburbanite who gets drawn into a new adventurous lifestyle where he becomes the submissive of Ray, played by Skarsgård, who is the charismatic leader of a motorcycle club. So apparently the whole environment is filled with kinky queer bikers.
So I feel a review coming on. Like, we're going to have to go see this, like, in the theater.
When this comes out, yeah.
Like, this is going to be important.
Yeah. Well, and there's already some controversy around it, of course, because, as I said, it was based upon a book. And some are saying this is great, that it's going to be bold and a representation of a queer BDSM dynamic, while others, of course, express concern over the potential for sensationalism or worse, misrepresentation of BDSM culture.
We shall see.
We shall see.
When is it scheduled to come out? It hasn't even started filming yet, right?
I don't think it has. I think this was just an announcement that they have been cast and that they're going to happen. I feel more confident that this will actually happen because it's based upon a popular book. Why would somebody spend the money to buy the book rights and want to make this into a film?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we should read the book.
Maybe.
No, I don't want to, because usually when I read the book and then I watch the movie, I am extremely disappointed by the movie, and I think I'd rather do it the other way around.
Usually it's better to watch the film first.
Yeah, but the book comes out first. So
book's already out.
I know, but like that's how it usually happens. So,
but I love the idea that they're going to be making a movie with two very popular actors about queer BDSM romance. Yeah, and then they've thrown in motorcycle clubs into it too.
All I can think of is get it, Dudley, get it.
Right? And I love the fact that Alexander Skarsgård feels comfortable enough in his masculinity to do this shit and to do one where he was the submissive and now one where he's the dominant.
Is he gay?
I don't think he's gay. Maybe bisexual. You'd have to ask Google.
Well, I'll ask later.
Yeah. So I just love it. I think we need more. I got into a whole discussion again with folks over the weekend about 50 Shades of Grey because everybody loves to just
shit all over you with that one.
Shit all over. Well, I don't mind if they shit over it because it's poorly written. I'm not going to argue with that one. But if you're going to shit all over it because you think it did something horrible for Kink. In fact, it was very interesting. So the person who I discussed it with was like, well, hopefully it'll be better then. And I said, curiosity, what do you think that it got wrong about BDSM? And he's like, well, I didn't actually see the movies.
Oh, well, no.
He said, I'm just going off of what other people told me.
No. You can't do that. You can't have an opinion of something you didn't actually watch. I have at least watched and read.
Right. And I said, here's the reality. And I went through my speaking points, as I always go through, of why this is not the shit show y'all think it was. And about all the good that it actually brought Kink, as far as pulling it out of the back alleys and making it something that you can talk about. But I'm hoping that they are not going to misrepresent the BDSM culture. And I also am very curious because, I mean, I don't identify as queer by any stretch of the imagination. But when I'm hanging out at Crucible or Baltimore Playhouse, I'm going to see a wide variety of folks. And as the token straight person, I'm the minority.
Yes.
So most of my friends would identify on the queer spectrum. And so I don't necessarily see queer BDSM being hugely different, but maybe that's because what I see is already a mixed mishmash of straight and queer people. And so if I was hanging out only with straight people, maybe the BDSM culture that I see would be different, in which case there's a difference between the straight and queer cultures of it. I don't know. Did that make any sense? I don't even know at this point, after all we record, if I'm making any sense.
You want to just move on to the next article?
Yeah, let's just move on. Okay.
I was just letting you go. I didn't know what you were saying, but you sounded like you had a handle on it.
I'm so glad. Fake it till you make it, baby.
That's all we can do.
I swear half the time that's all I'm doing. Faking it till I make it. All right, so our next article was
sex expert
Susanna Weiss, who is a resident sexologist for the erotic ethical porn site Frolic Me, which I didn't even know existed.
No, I didn't either. And wait, what was it? What did I write down for this? I don't know. I think I might have missed that part. But erotic ethical, what was the rest of that?
It's an erotic ethical porn site.
Yeah. Interesting. Like, I kind of want to go look at it.
Well, yeah, because I want to know I'm glad that you say you're ethical. What makes you ethical?
Right.
What do you do that makes you ethical?
What is it exactly that you have that the other ones don't?
Because there are a lot of people who will tell you that there's not much ethical about porn.
Right. But, when in fact we know that there are ethical practices.
Right.
However, Pornhub is notorious for being unethical.
Yeah, which actually I talked about in the cybersecurity episode, which
yes,
would have already happened by the time they hear this one, so I can say that.
Yes.
Space-time continuum, hardly at work again.
I'm so confused.
I know. But this article in particular talked about how to navigate the gap when there's the kink gap in a relationship. So you've got partners, one of you is kinkier than the other. And I thought you would find this interesting.
I know.
I mean, look, is there a kink gap between me and Diesel? Yes, there absolutely is.
You have very extreme differences.
But he's very open to what I do. He's very comfortable with what I do. He's been very well exposed. I mean, he comes from the swinger lifestyle, so it's not like I'm super kinky with a vanilla person. He comes from the swinger lifestyle, so he's already very comfortable with alternative lifestyles. And let us not forget, for anybody who may have missed this in one of the early episodes, I met him at a gangbang. So it's
floofing.
So it's not that difficult. But I mean, you basically brought in a vanilla partner and kinkified them.
I did. And it worked out very well.
So I figured maybe you follow some of the key points.
I think I am literally the only person I know that has done that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it was actually mentioned in Locrian's podcast that I did that. I guess it's really not common.
No. Well, but I also am very curious and wondering so you and I are at different levels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There are most things that I do that you're like, no, that's extreme. And so I wonder, would it have worked out as well if you kinked the way I kinked? Or would that be too big of a gap?
I think that would have been too big of a gap. But remember, I do things that you find too extreme, just not on the
Mentally,
physical level.
right? From a mental, emotional standpoint. But you don't have to do it with him.
No, well, he likes it though, and it worked out because his proclivity.
Yeah, words are hard, aren't they?
Right.
Thank you. Welcome to my world.
Proclivity was already there, and it already matched mine. I just brought it to the surface.
Right.
So, like, he had a really, really hard time telling me that he had a lactation kink. I don't have a lactation kink at all. It's bodily fluids. That's a hard no for me.
Oh my God, even breast milk?
Yes, we've already had this discussion. Ew. Fucking gross.
It's really yummy, actually.
You can stop talking. No. But yeah, but then that kind of evolved into the breeding kink. But what I do for that is I use it during sex, and I just use my words instead of, or like, I've actually done the thing where I've walked out of the bathroom and I've put like water on the nipples of my shirt so it looks like I'm lactating, and like drives him crazy. Absolutely loves it. So like, that's bridging the gap for me. Or I will also point out anytime there's a pregnant lady in a vicinity. He loves it.
Yeah.
Fucking loves it. I've walked in on him watching pregnancy porn. So, like I said, this is a big gap, but it's like, it's not me being further than him. This is the opposite direction, but I meet it in a way that it works for both of us. Mm-hmm. And the little thing, I trained him into that.
Yeah.
So he met me to a level where we're both comfortable now, and we've both evolved.
Well, what they talked about in the article, there were several key points that she recommended for how to navigate that gap. And what will come as a surprise to nobody who listens to us, the very first thing was open communication.
Uh-huh.
Right?
I liked it.
Discuss your desires and interests openly. And here we go. This is the really important point. And without judgment.
Ooh, that's the hard part for me.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, for you to express the interest in, like, the humiliation and that component, that would be one thing. I'd have to sit down and express, so I like to draw blood. I mean, like, it's
and, different people react to that differently. A lot of people that like the blood part look at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you do that? And I'm looking at you guys like, you sick fucking bastards.
Yeah.
So different strokes for different folks. Right. This is the part that I liked up here where it says sex should be about the journey and the exploration is part of the experience. Absolutely. You never stop growing. You shouldn't ever stop growing.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
Of course, it's being honest. Be truthful about what your kinks and boundaries are. Nothing will kill a relationship faster than not being honest. First of all, you will be resentful that you haven't been able to share how you're feeling and what you're thinking about. It will cause stress in the relationship. It will cause conflict. It's just doesn't work. They also talked about, and you talked about having to do this with Daddy J, is compromise. Mm-hmm. Find a middle ground that respects both partners' comfort levels. So, for example, with me, I don't necessarily need somebody who's going to do the kink with me.
You just need somebody who's going to let you kink.
Right? It's just, you have to understand, though, and you don't even have to be at the event when I do it. If, like, you can't see me doing something where blood's being drawn, because that's just too much, and it's hard for you to see me being physically hurt. That's fine. I'm okay with that. The compromise is going to be that you have to be accepting of the fact that I will be covered in bruises and scabs. Like, that's for me an acceptable compromise.
I mean, that makes sense to me, but if somebody's not into it, what if Diesel had said to you, that's not something I'm going to accept, what would you have done?
Then that wouldn't have been the right partner for me.
Right.
And we wouldn't still be together. I mean, the running joke with us is he always jokes, he goes, how come I always get you after you're all bruised up?
Because you're always bruised up.
I'm like, yeah, pretty much. Not anymore, because now I'm topping. Used to be I bottomed more than I topped. Now I top more than I bottom. Make sure that you're putting into account safety measures, establishing the safe words and boundaries so that everybody's consenting. So as you did with Daddy J and you started to do things with him, I'm sure you've put into place safe words so that if it got to be too much.
Oh, absolutely. And remember, even my safe word has evolved because I didn't realize that my safe word was okay until Daddy J. I just used the basic color system before.
All right. Respecting boundaries, and then a gradual exploration. Like, don't just start, boom, now you're together.
No. From what I remember, Daddy J and I did 3 months of building the dynamic and kind of working through what we wanted and how we wanted to do it before we actually said, okay, yeah, we're in a dynamic, and then we switched roles.
And then, of course, the last thing they said is seek professional help, perhaps counseling, therapy, if negotiating the kink gap becomes too challenging. I'm assuming that's in a case of an established couple who one of them discovers kink afterward.
And we know people who have done that.
Yeah.
They've been married for like 20 years and then discovered they wanted to be kinky together.
Mine was 19 years and we didn't want to be kinky together.
Yeah. Mine.
17 years. Sorry, 17 years.
I don't know when that, like for my ex-husband, he just turned out to be nothing. So that didn't work.
Right. But I will tell you I can't speak to the vanilla side because it's been too long since I consider myself vanilla, but from the kink side, do not give up who and what you are so that you can have this vanilla partner.
Yeah, no.
It will not work in the long run.
I did it. Don't do it. It is not worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I was already married and then discovered kink, so it's not like I forced and said, I'm not going to be kinky just to be with this person.
And I dropped the kink to be with the person and then regretted it so much.
Yeah. But it can be done. You don't have to have the same level of kink. What you have to do is accept each other's level of kink. And as I often tell people, and I think you and I have proven this beyond a shadow of a doubt, you can have platonic kink. So if you and your partner are at different levels, then sit down and discuss, is it okay if you do kink with somebody else? It'll be platonic. You won't have sex with them. It'll just be, let's say, a close friend. So yeah, you're going to have an emotional connection, but we have emotional connections with friends outside of our marriages all the time.
Yeah, and if you're jealous of a bestie that you do stuff with, that's the bit of a problem. Now, granted, doing kink stuff is a lot more than just going out drinking with your bestie, which is why you need to have the conversations.
Communicate. All right, so that's it for that article. The next article was the Daily Star talked to experienced sex worker Cherry Blossom,
which I loved,
who shared her perspective on why she enjoys her profession and finds it more fulfilling compared to a traditional 9-to-5 job. And she had some great quotes. I love this one. I'd rather eat shit, die, be run over by a truck and torn apart by hyenas than work a 9-to-5 or have a boss again.
It was genius.
She was great. So she got to start in fetish modeling, exotic dancing, wrestling videos, and content creation as both an independent and studio performer. And she's very comfortable and confident in her role as a sex worker. She's like, look, it is challenging, but it's a good challenge. And in her experience, and I think many of us who identify as female can attest to this, you get sexually harassed and abused in 9-to-5 jobs as well.
Yep.
And for her, she found that she got harassed and abused way more in those 9-to-5 jobs, especially server jobs, than she ever did in adult work. And she gets paid a hell of a lot more in sex work than she ever did.
So the quote that I really liked, I copied this one. It is also the only job I've ever done that compensates fairly for what I put into it. A lot of the fetish stuff is basically adult style make-believe. So in a way, it's like being on the playground, but as adults. I like that a lot. But here are my questions. This article did a shit job, and we need to contact her.
Okay.
And we need to do a better job interviewing her because they did a shit job.
Okay.
What are the kinks and fetishes that you particularly do? What are you known for? How often do you do them? What kind of work do you put into it? How do you do your social media? Do you do it yourself? How much do you get paid? Do you have to travel a lot? There are so many questions that they could have done better
One
with.
of the interesting things, and I know several people who have OnlyFans accounts and do sex work like this online. And it is way harder work than I think most people understand.
Oh, it absolutely is.
The amount of time and energy put into, forget just making the content, but promoting the content.
That's why I have you.
Well, that's my job. Are there benefits to it? Of course. You have the flexibility to work the hours that you want to work and put in as much effort as you want to. You have a total sense of control over your work environment and the types of services you're offering. Financial benefits. If you are good at it, you can make a shit fucking ton of money. I mean, way more. Like, if you looked at some of the top money makers on OnlyFans, they can make in a month what some of us make in a year.
That's not fair. That makes me really fucking sad.
Yeah, well, they just, but then you also have to deal with the stigma.
Yeah, that's true.
And, the misconception. I mean, like, remember, we saw that on the risky business thing, that one guy who couldn't tell people what he did for a living. He couldn't tell his son what he did for a living for Parents' Day.
Personally, I feel like I could deal with the stigma as long as I had that much money.
Maybe. It's one of those things you can guess until you've actually been in it.
That's true.
So I appreciated the fact that it was a very positive article as far as sex work goes. I didn't feel like it was one of those.
It was not very in-depth.
No. But I don't think the kind that she does necessarily was the point. The point was here's somebody who has positive things to say about it. Okay, so our next article, I have a feeling there may be some ranting that's about to happen from one or both of us.
Who are you talking about?
Yeah. So this happened in Nagpur. I don't know where Nagpur is.
I don't either.
But it was part of the news in Nagpur that a woman was remanded to police custody after her partner died of asphyxiation during a BDSM session at a lodge.
First of all, way to go, putting everything right backwards to where we want it to be. Thank you so much for that.
So what happened is she tied this guy up. She tied his hands and legs to a chair with rope during sex. She allegedly, we don't want to get sued, she allegedly then used another rope around his neck to heighten his sexual arousal. Then the dumb bitch went to the bathroom.
Number one rule when doing breath play, don't leave because shit happens.
Right. And by the way, we'll go into this. So he was tied to this chair. Apparently he slipped, or the chair slipped, and the rope around his neck got tight and killed him. And she came back from the bathroom.
How the fuck long was she in the bathroom?
Well, that's another question. And I mean, it gets worse. So originally the incident happened and they initially deemed it an accident. And then they decided to reclassify it as murder following a complaint from the man's family. Because here, to add to all of this, the woman is married and has a child. And this was a long-term extramarital affair that she was having with him. Now,
like 5 years, I think.
I don't think it said whether or not he was married.
So, but what I'm trying to figure out is his family pressed charges, or
his family got on the police's case until they decided to arrest her.
Okay, yeah, following complaint by relatives of deceased.
Okay. Look, did she do it on purpose? Probably not. But as we know, at least, I mean, look, I don't know where Nagpur is, but in America, there's different levels. I mean, you could have somebody, it be an accident, and it's still considered homicide.
Yes.
Right? I don't know all the technical terms.
I don't know either.
I'll need to go back to my Law and Order episodes.
But seriously, so the rule is it's 3 minutes. Why was she gone for longer than 3 minutes?
Nobody, even if the rope hadn't been around his neck, leaving your bottom tied to a chair
or the bed or anywhere
and walking out of the room and leaving them unsupervised is irresponsible.
Honestly, good. I'm so glad she did get punished for this, because this is like number one fucking rule. You don't do that. You do not leave them unattended. If they are unable to help themselves in any way, if something goes wrong, you're on the line. Period.
Yeah, this was the worst case scenario, and it happened. And now this guy is dead. And this whole putting the rope around the neck to heighten sexual arousal. I'm going to just say, and this is my opinion, and the dog can give her own opinion. It's not worth the risk. I don't think it's worth the risk. It is so fucking far outside my risk profile. And as far as I'm concerned, it should be outside of everybody's risk profile. Why risk death just to have a better orgasm? Because then you'll never have another orgasm again.
I mean, we know a lot of people that are into asphyxiation. I think we did an interview with somebody who does breath play, right?
Yeah, but to me, there's a difference between my hands around your neck, which I can control by letting go, and a rope.
Or a bag. If that's your kink, fine. You're going to have a hell of a risk profile for it. But my problem is the unbelievably fucking irresponsibility of leaving the room.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, she is guilty of murder.
Absolutely, because she left her bottom unattended in a very tricky, not tricky is not even the right word, unbelievably unsafe, dangerous situation. Deserves it. He did not deserve to die. That's not what I'm saying. She deserves to go to prison for leaving him unattended. Mm-hmm. That would be at minimum manslaughter to me.
Oh, thank you. That's the part I was looking for. Mm-hmm. Which one?
Manslaughter?
Manslaughter.
Yeah.
Which the unintentional, like somebody's dead because of your actions, you just didn't intend for it to happen.
Right, but they're still dead. Therefore,
they're still dead. You still made a mistake.
You did something that caused somebody to die, regardless of whether or not that was on purpose. I think murder is premeditated, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it was irresponsible. It was absolutely irresponsible. And as you pointed out earlier too, what this does for those of us in BDSM. This is the kind of shit that makes vanillas hate us.
And it sets us backwards so far. Look, I don't even let my dogs wear their collars in the house.
You know what? I've always found that interesting because I've just recently been hearing about that's dangerous. My dog always wore her collar, but that's also because my dog was an escape artist. So I was always afraid if she got out of the house, she needed that collar on so they'd know where she lived.
Yes. Everybody would know where mine lived because I'd be running up and down the yard screaming.
No, mine got out once. We didn't even know she'd gotten out until I heard a scratching at the front door, and there she was.
Oh, gee. Well, my next door neighbor's dog got into my house once, and I didn't know he was behind me. Like, I had come home from work. I opened the garage. I go into the house, and boom, extra dog in my house. And my neighbor is like screaming for him. And I was like, oh yeah. Hey, little dude.
The landscapers had left the back gate open.
Oh, Jesus.
So when I let the dog out in the backyard to do her business.
Yep.
She found the gate open.
No, that's happened to me.
Good news is she knows where she lives because she came home.
I have seen and read too many stories of the dogs with the collars getting their collar stuck on something and literally choking themselves to death. Or like the tie out. This was a huge thing on TikTok the other day where you let your dog outside, you stake the 20 foot whatever tie on the collar. And they run so hard because they think they're free. They run so hard they like choke themselves out. So I will not do that.
There you go. But yeah, I read this article and it was just more of the like, what the fuck? I was so angry.
Yeah.
Because that was such an avoidable death. Such an avoidable death.
Like if you know anything about BDSM, you know how to be safe. This person clearly didn't know shit.
Yeah. Like, all right, you have to go to the bathroom?
Cool. Let me untie you.
At the very least, take the neck rope off.
Minimum. Honestly, take a break.
Yeah. So. Ugh. All right. You feel better? You got that out?
No.
All right.
That one pissed me off.
Okay. So we can go on to this next one. This next one also pissed me off, but probably for a surprising reason.
Hold on. I got to pull it up again.
All right. So this one, they interviewed Mistress Darcy, who, quote unquote, is renowned for her expertise in BDSM practices and offers a therapeutic avenue that diverges from mainstream counseling and psychology. And it basically talks about how she utilizes a DS dynamic to facilitate healing experiences for her clients. And I read this article and it talked about the stuff that she does in sessions and everything else. She's a fucking pro dom. Like she's nothing special. Nothing different than all the pro-doms that I know do. But they set it up so it's more like it's therapy. So I want to know, does she bill insurance?
Does she have a therapist license?
They didn't mention it. I read the article more than once to see, was I missing that? I personally did not see anything in there talking about that she is a licensed counselor.
Well, then you can't call yourself a fucking therapist and say you perform therapy if you don't have that.
No, she got away with it by saying offers a therapeutic avenue. Because remember, like we always say, BDSM is therapeutic, not therapy. But the way this article was writing, it was like, oh, look, she's like a counselor and she's offering another way to counsel her clients. And she's creating this atmosphere to work through their problems. And
yeah,
I'm like,
that's
she's
unethical
a
as
fucking
fuck.
pro-dom. And then the article went on to talk about the benefits of BDSM, which that was fine, but nothing we don't already know. You know, the structured environment, they can safely explore their emotions, desires, and past traumas.
That's not therapy, though. That's just kink.
That they, through role-playing scenarios and power exchange dynamics and physical sensations, that they can confront and process their inner turmoil. But I like this. Her approach emphasized the importance of mutual consent, clear communication, and respect for boundaries.
Well, that's good at least.
Ensuring that clients feel safe and supported throughout the process. Duh. Like, that's the bare minimum. Why do we have a whole article written about this? Like, whoa, let's bow down to her.
Listen,
like,
it's
she's a fucking goddamn pro-dom.
It's because it was written by somebody who is just now learning and doing all the basic research for it, who thinks that everybody else doesn't know anything about it. Like, the target audience is vanillas.
I mean, I dated a pro-dom for 3 years. I know several pro-doms. I've done pro-doming session. I would never expect anybody to write an article unless you're in a kink, article thing about my whole kink world. But like about just what I do with the pro-doming stuff. I was just like reading this going, are you fucking kidding me?
Listen, I'm telling you, the target audience is vanillas who haven't even read 50 Shades of Grey.
But yeah, so that really pissed me off.
So, Rara, tell me how you really feel.
Well, it was like, big deal. Big fucking deal. And this next one, unless you have more you want to add to that one.
No, that one I was, let's see, what was it?
Mistress Darcy.
Yes. Sex negative nonsense spoon-fed to us by our puritanical culture. I was like, God damn. That was a quote.
Yeah. She says, the article actually said, through her work, she empowers individuals to embrace their authentic selves, confront their past traumas, and reclaim agency over their lives. She's a pro-dom.
Okay, what would your reaction have been if it said specifically that she was a sex therapist?
I'd buy that more.
Okay.
It was, and maybe the problem is the article, and it's not Mistress Darcy's fault. But the article presented
I could actually see that.
It was presented as, this is another way to do therapy. Like, you could go to the therapist's office and sit on the sofa and talk through your problems, or you can go to Mistress Darcy and she'll beat the problems out of you.
Well, as long as Mistress Darcy is using effective communication, then I don't see the problem.
Well, she does. She emphasizes the importance of mutual consent, clear communication, and respect for boundaries.
Clearly, then, this is a therapy session, and I should also be getting billed.
Look, it's hard to read this stuff through the eyes of a vanilla.
Bill for therapy?
Yeah.
Ow.
Did you drink much?
Yeah, that whole coffee thing. I think it might have had vodka in it.
Well, that would explain the snorts earlier.
No, that was just funny shit.
It only bothered me because I think it is really important that people understand that while BDSM has a ton of fucking benefits, or why would any of us do this, it can never and should never replace actual therapy.
Yeah, no.
It is a tool you can use to work through issues, but it is not a replacement for therapy. And the way this article was written, it was set up as if this was a replacement. And that bothered me.
That's bad.
That bothered me a lot.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Now, this one bothers me.
This one I picked, I saw it and went, ooh, Dara's going to like this one. Go ahead, Dara. I got to sit back, let you do this one.
Okay. This one is about the tickle fetish, which I can't even pronounce this.
I didn't even write that note down because I can't pronounce it. That word. See, words are not that easy, aren't they?
That one's really fucking hard, though. I can't. That one's crazy. Anyway, it refers to sexual arousal or gratification from either being tickled or tickling somebody. No.
But here's what I love. Researchers actually did a scientific study. Like, of all the fucking things on this planet we need to study, did we really need to understand and study why some individuals enjoy being tickled during sexual activities?
Listen,
that's where our money needed to go?
In Grey's Anatomy, they did an episode where they were having women masturbate in an MRI machine so they could map the brain during orgasm. Okay?
That's cool.
Did you not see that episode?
No, that's cool. I gave up on Grey's Anatomy several years ago.
I mean, I went back and rewatched it, but I stopped at like season 19 or something. I just couldn't do it anymore.
You lasted longer than I did.
I couldn't do it anymore.
But it's like, really, of all the issues we have in this world, this is what we needed to know. Why they enjoy being tickled.
Listen, the people who do this study, either one, have this kink, or two, think it's fucking weird enough that they could get the funding for it because it's so out there. I can see this happening 100%, especially psychologists.
I'm sort of glad they did because I'm curious. I'm fascinated, but really?
No.
So what did they find, Dara?
First of all, I'm cringing.
I know, you're very uncomfortable, which is why I'm going to keep asking the questions.
So
you don't like tickling. Is that a hard limit for you?
Okay. Yes, it is actually. I don't get pedicures because the second somebody touches my feet, I start kicking. I'm like banned from getting pedicures now. I almost kicked somebody in the jaw. Don't fucking touch my feet. Okay. It was actually, so this is funny. It is a documented form of torture in ancient Rome.
Oh, I saw that. I thought that was funny.
I mean, it is a little funny, but also I can see why that would be torture. Like it hurts. If you do it too much, it fucking hurts.
I am rarely ticklish, which drives people nuts because they try to tickle me and I'm just sitting there like, no.
Well, first of all, that's a form of like, don't fucking touch me. Don't tickle me. I've seen episodes, I don't even remember what show this was, but it was this big family and they did a tickle pile or something, but the child saw it as being tortured. And I'm like, yes, I can 100% see why you would not like it. It was like child abuse to them.
Listen, as having had young children, they love it sometimes.
Yes, until they don't.
And here is an actually very good lesson to learn, to teach your children about consent and boundaries. The minute they say don't, or stop, or no, then you fucking stop. And let them control how long you tickle them for. Otherwise, it does become torture. And you've now taught them that if somebody says stop, they don't have to listen.
I also have no idea how somebody would experience an orgasm through tickling simply because to me, it is painful. And I don't like it.
Yeah. I used to attend foot parties where people paid me to be able to touch my feet.
Mm-hmm. But that's consensual.
Right? Well, there was a guy in particular who wanted to tickle you. And so he never hired me because I can't be tickled.
I remember that. He wanted to do foot things with me because of the tickling, right?
No, because you never came to those parties.
No. You told me about it. It was somebody who asked because I mentioned something about not liking people touching my feet.
I mean, he was a regular at the foot parties I used to go to.
Yeah. You were actually, or was it Marla who was telling me about it?
We both. It's the same guy. And Marla, whose feet are ticklish, would make quite a bit of buck because she could do the scenes with him.
Good for her.
I couldn't.
I would die. No, that would be actual torture for me.
But what was interesting is that, so they found, these researchers, that the tickling activates the same brain regions associated with sexual pleasure, suggesting a possible link between the two.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And that those who reported experiencing sexual arousal from tickling and found that their brains responded similarly to both tickling and sexual stimulation.
Is that like a wire that's crossed or like a nerve ending in your brain that's touching
they actually
something?
Did brain imaging techniques, and they observed that tickling activates specific regions of the brain that is also associated with pleasure and reward.
I'm trying to process this. I get zero pleasure from tickling. So like the idea of this is just such a hard concept for me to wrap my head around.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, right? You've got your left brain people and your right brain people. We all have, you have some of us who are really good at math and some of us who are really more creative and not good in math.
That's actually been debunked.
Well, but in the sense that some of us just have a natural inclination, numbers, they make sense.
Yes.
Right? For anybody who's trying to learn a foreign language, as somebody who struggles with trying to learn a foreign language, and there's other people who it's like, no problem, they can pick it up. We all have the way our brains are basically the same, but yet there's also differences. And so to me, this is for one person, like the people in the study, they do associate the tickling. It does trigger the same part of the brain. While for you, it probably wouldn't trigger the same part of the brain.
No, not at all for me. I would just sit there and cry.
But I guess, and then ultimately what they said is that this research underscores the importance of recognizing and respecting, I like that word, diverse sexual preferences and experiences.
So I think it's cool. And like when we did the foot episode with Marla, I was like really interested in that. I just can't, the concept of it equaling orgasm or being the same feeling as an orgasm is so unbelievably wild to me.
Well, but does it trigger an orgasm or does it trigger same like when I do rope? Like rope doesn't trigger an orgasm for me, but it obviously makes my happy places happy.
I mean, okay, so, but it said in here, it is the same, it triggers an orgasm response. So for me, the audio part of it, of people moaning and doing things, it makes my happy places happy, as you put it, but it doesn't actually give me an orgasm. I have to have the combination of the physical stimulation and the audio stimulation.
I mean, granted, I didn't go deeply into this. Did they specifically say that when they're tickled, they then orgasm?
Well, like, hold on, let me find
it. Or does it just turn them on and the...
Additionally, a quarter of respondents said that they experienced orgasms exclusively through tickling.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I have actually witnessed somebody in a beating have an orgasm. They got hit and then orgasmed.
I wish I could actually do stuff like that. I've had people on my table when I'm doing electro on them come from the electricity, and I'm like kind of jealous. I can't do that.
Like John has one toy in particular. It's actually a yoga roll.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
The mat?
No, not the mat. It's like a hard thing that you kind of like put under your back and roll on it.
Oh.
Right? And his hand could go through it. And then he hits you with it. If he hits in the right spot, it jiggled parts enough that I could see potentially having an orgasm from it.
Okay.
If you kept going at it long enough. Maybe that's the same theory here, that it jiggles the parts enough. I'm sure there's a technical term, but that's as good as I'm getting.
Jiggled it is.
Jiggles the parts enough that that's what creates the orgasm?
Maybe.
I don't know. I find tickling, it's not so much it's a hard limit. It's the point is there's a very fine line between it being tickling and being you're digging your fingers into me, which is painful and uncomfortable.
Yeah, I guess that person just wasn't tickling right.
So
I don't know. This is just, I can't, I am extremely, extremely ticklish. I don't like it. Therefore, I do not
It's
get
a hard
pedicures.
limit for you. And that's fair enough. So this is our articles in the news about BDSM and kink.
Some of which really pissed us off. Some of which were kind of like, oh, that's different.
It's pretty standard for us, though. Some stuff pisses us off. Some stuff it doesn't.
Well, let's face it. A lot more stuff pisses us off than
Oh my God.
than not.
I swear to God, I'm becoming the old lady. Get off my lawn.
Get off my opinion.
I just have less patience these days because I'm out of fucks. That's the problem. I'm out of fucking fucks.
Do you remember you telling me, like, I think it was last recording, when you start losing your fucks is at 40?
Yeah.
I've hit it.
Mm-hmm.
I have so hit it.
You know what I think it is? Similar to how those of us who have ovaries. You're born with all the eggs you're ever going to have.
It's a finite amount of fucks.
And then as you age, you start to lose those eggs because you have your period. Well, I think you were born with all the fucks you were ever going to have. And as you use up those fucks, you eventually run out of fucks.
Is it one fuck per egg?
I don't know what the correlation is.
There was something on TikTok about it where like you have a bucket, and when you're young, you have a really big bucket, and you're willing to carry that bucket of fucks with you everywhere, and you're so you take care of it, and you can refill it with different techniques and da 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 da. As you get older, you don't want to carry around the bucket because you've carried the bucket your entire life, and it's really really heavy at this point, and you're just like, I don't have the arm strength for this, so you get a smaller bucket. And as you get older, you're down to like a mug.
Yeah. I think I'm down to a thimble.
I think I may still have a thermos or something because I'm not quite out of fucks completely every single day. But God, am I getting there?
Oh my God. Yes. It's both freeing and frustrating.
Yes.
It's frustrating only because like I wish I'd have a fuck to give because everybody's just annoying me and I'd be less annoyed. Because I just want to tell you to fuck off. But I have no more fucks to tell you to fuck off.
All one word. Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Got it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. So
I got nothing.
Cool articles there, bro.
I've used up everything. But again, if you come up with articles that you want us to talk about that you think are interesting, you guys know the places to send them, through pinkkinkpodcast@gmail.com. You can tag us in any of the social medias, use it through the social media. I will go through, and if I find one that I think will really set Dara off, I'll share it with her.
Bitch.
I know. Because it's just fun.
Sadist?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a minute of our fun and educational content. New episodes drop every Friday.
If you love what we do and want to show support, there are several ways. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast. You can support our affiliates or help spread the word about our kinky podcast to your friends.
Don't forget to rate and review Pink Kink on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Those 5-star reviews go a long way in boosting our podcast through the algorithm and reaching more listeners.
Sign up for our Pink Kink Institute classes. Shop at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique. Stay connected with us on social media. You'll find all the links on our link tree posted in the show notes.
Your support means the world to us. So until next time, stay pretty, stay safe,
and stay twisted.